Good evening. My name is Gao Qing. I am the Executive Director of the Confucius Institute U.S. Center in Washington, D.C. Welcome to join our 2020 People-to-People Award presentation event to celebrate our 10 exemplary honorees today. First, let me introduce Mr. Bill Reeder, the chairman of the board. Bill has been a world-renowned opera singer and arts manager. He was the dean of the College of Visual and Performing Arts at George Mason University. He oversaw the Confucius Institute program over there, and he knows how important the language, arts, and culture mean for a harmonious and peaceful modern society. It has been my great honor to work with him in many educational and cultural efforts, including the Confucius Institute.
Thank you, Gao Cheng, for that introduction, and congratulations to this year's 10 honorees. Visiting China was just a dream throughout my lifetime. Finally, in the year 2000, I had my first chance, and what an eye-opening experience that was. I made many new friends, and I appreciated really deeply the importance of China as a nation and as a culture. When I came back to the United States, I was fortunate to be able to help establish one of the first Confucius Institutes at George Mason University, and later on to assist in the establishment of the U.S. Center, the host of this evening's celebration. My own experience of learning a second language is one that is really rich, and I know that all of our honorees would share that same perspective. Learning that language is simply important, and it helps us, it's the gateway to understanding other people and other cultures.
Acquisition of a foreign language is important and accomplishing, but it is not easy. It requires hard work, perseverance, and resilience. I was an international student, came to the United States, barely spoke sufficient English for daily life. It was tough, and I experienced it firsthand. It is our goal to build a robust Chinese language learning community that we can keep learning from each other, supporting each other, encouraging each other, and inspiring each other, so that we can make this journey easier, more joyful, and we can make it together eventually.
Well, there's no question about it. A learning community for studying a foreign language will be very helpful. Now, each year, the Confucius Institute U.S. Center celebrates the achievements and stories of American students who are studying Chinese language, and I hope more Americans can join this journey and participate in this great and growing community. Learning Chinese is fun, and it's important.
Today, we welcome and congratulate 10 more members of this community who have demonstrated their talents and determinations. I invite you to enjoy these presentations tonight and get more familiar with these outstanding Chinese language learners and cultural enthusiasts.
I've learned those impressive stories of this year's honorees. They are truly outstanding, and they deserve the awards that they will receive. You can learn more about each of them on our website. It was exciting to me to witness that we have several musicians among our honorees, and they will perform for us during the event. I look forward to it. Learning a foreign language, it is good to start as early as possible. Encouragement and support from family members can be truly a game changer. For school-aged children, parents have an indispensable and important role in their language education. I'd like to introduce you to Love Zubeler, who is an alumna. She is a winner and 2018 honoree and a mother. She has 2 children, Texas and India, both in elementary school, who have been studying Chinese for many years. She herself, of course, studies with her children and demonstrates that parents can not only learn the language, but are there to support their children every step of the way. I'm honored to introduce you to Love, who is now joining us from San Diego and will serve as the Master of Ceremonies for the celebration event this evening.
Thank you, Gao and Bill, for the warm introduction. It's hard to believe that it's been 2 years since I was in Washington, D.C., accepting the People-to-People Award along with 11 outstanding individuals within the Confucius Institute community. In my case, the award was never about me. It was about my children, who have both been learning the Mandarin language in an immersive environment at their public school in San Diego since kindergarten. In partnership with the Confucius Institute of San Diego, they have been welcomed into a new, different, and exciting culture. My dream has always been for them to build bridges across oceans, cultures, and generations. Thanks to the Confucius Institute, that dream has become a reality, more than once. In 2017 and 2018, my son and I traveled to China with the Confucius Institute. Seeing him interact with native speakers in China, watching their faces transform in surprise as they realize that this blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy has taken the time and effort to learn their language, and knowing that both he and those with whom he interacts are wiser for the experience is more satisfying than any award I could receive. The Confucius Institute has brought our family a rich cultural experience, one that transcends distance, politics, and pandemics. In spite of the many challenges facing our world today, our local Confucius Institute in San Diego continues to bring programs, support, and resources to our school and to all of San Diego. Together with the CIUS Center, they are relentless, tireless, and undeterred, and we are grateful for it. Congratulations to all of this year's People-to-People Award recipients at tonight's gala, and thank you to the many friends and family and partners here today for your commitment to lifelong learning. What you do is more important than learning a language. It is developing an understanding of people and culture that can only serve to build a kinder, gentler, and stronger world.
很高兴来到孔子学院在此，我妈妈和我很幸运可以在这个组。孔子学院让我做很多东西，我爱学中文和去中国。谢谢，祝您有个美好的夜晚。
Now, without further ado, we have an exciting program planned for you this evening. And to get us started, I would like to introduce Alana Berry, who will share a performance of Red Bean by singer Wang Fei. This is a love song about knowing that although everything eventually comes to an end, we can continue to treat each relationship as if it will last forever. Alana chose this song because she really likes the melody and the beautifully written lyrics. Enjoy. Thank you, Elena. What a great way to start the night. As we all know, for our global education and U.S.-China relations communities, this year has been unconventional at best. There has been loss and frustration, but also resilience and innovation. We have seen students and teachers creatively push forward in their educational endeavors while working tirelessly to create opportunities for exchange and language learning. The first honorees you will meet tonight have all found unconventional but highly rewarding ways of creating and maintaining their Chinese language and culture interests. These stories inspire us to think outside of the box when it comes to facilitating opportunities to cross borders and experience global education outside of the traditional classroom setting. Let's meet Raven Witherspoon, David Fuller, and Carly Beth Hand.
I'm Raven Witherspoon. I'm a physics major at Virginia Commonwealth University, and I'm minoring in International Social Justice Studies and Political Science, and I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I started learning Chinese in 6th grade. I was in the IB program at my middle school, and so we were really fortunate to have a Chinese program because not many schools in our district did. My pen pal experience began because of my professor at Nova Community College, Dolly Tan. She set up this pen pal program, and she did not tell us she was doing it. We just got an email one day that was like, hey, here's your pen pal, go ahead and send him a message. And we were like, what is our pen pals? And she was like, yeah, I've arranged this with a university in China, don't worry about it. We just talked about whatever was on our mind, whatever we'd seen that day. And so that relationship slowly started to become more nuanced, I would say. So instead of just talking about like what we ate for lunch that day or like a cool TikTok we'd seen, we started talking about like his love of Chinese culture and history and American history and the different ways that they overlap, but also being able to talk about things that, you know, I don't really get to talk about with my American friends. So like learning about the Gaokao and like being there as he learned how to drive and got his license, like seeing those milestones and walking through life with someone in that way, even when you can't meet in person, that bar none has been the best part of my Chinese journey so far. My parents are probably so tired of hearing Chinese music around the house because I got into Chinese pop music recently because my pen pal would send me his favorite songs and, you know, ask like, oh, can you sing this? Or can you send me a recording of this? And so in exchanging music, I got really interested in that. And now we'll get in the car and I'll drive somewhere and my Bluetooth connects automatically and it's Chinese. And like, we don't know what they're saying. I'm like, it's okay, just listen to the beat. I guess in summary, I would just say that you don't have to go to China to have amazing cross-cultural experiences with Chinese people. There are so many ways to get involved in the community, whether it's at a school or at like a Confucius Institute or your local Chinatown. There's so many ways to engage with a culture. And so if you feel like you're isolated or there's no way for you to do that, just start Googling, just start reaching out to people you know and see if you can find something, because the only way that we're all going to overcome these kind of global challenges like COVID or, you know, whatever it might be, is those interpersonal connections, is building that kind of long-lasting relationship with people who are very different from us and being able to have difficult dialogues because we've built that mutual trust and respect.
Hello, my name is David Fuller. I am from upstate Groton, New York, and I am a graduate from Alfred University. I studied accounting and business, and now that I'm a graduate, I'm going to be going to China to teach English. I was at the retirement party for an administrative assistant at my university, and I met Daisy Wu there, or Wu Zhongbei, and she invited me to join the Guzheng class for the coming semester. I just showed up, and it turned out to be something that I didn't expect to love, but I really enjoyed it. I remember coming in, and I wasn't too worked up about it. I thought it would just be, you know, just a fun class to take. But it turned out as soon as she started playing it, it sounded very special. It was both warm and energetic and fun. And then I got to play, and of course, being new, it was very bad, but it was still fun. So my involvement with Chinese language and culture, particularly in college, has greatly affected my long-term professional interests. About a month ago, I got the idea it was just off the top of my head, what if I could go teach in China? I applied, and we had the interviews, and about a couple weeks ago, I was accepted. So now I'm working on the whole visa process. And this is definitely something that I can guarantee would never have occurred if it weren't for my involvement with the Confucius Institute in college. My favorite memory of my years working with, Daisy and the Confucius Institute was when I was invited to play guzheng at the Confucius Institute Gala of 2019. And I had the amazing opportunity to play a solo. I never thought I would get an experience like that. And when I finished, there was a standing ovation. And so it was fantastic to have that experience that I've always wanted since I was a little kid.
Hi, my name is Beth, and I'm a musician, and I'm from New York. And I am teaching myself Chinese, and I'm also working on a Chinese album. My story is kind of crazy how I became interested in Chinese culture. I went to school in London, and when I was there, a Chinese acquaintance heard me playing and singing in the practice room, and she said, "Hey, we should live stream you to China." And I said, "Huh? China?" And so the next day, we tried live streaming myself playing and singing the piano, in English, of course, and the fans were so supportive, and I quickly had like 10,000 people watching, and then later on 110,000 people watching. So it was really exciting, and I really felt the need to connect with my fans. After that, I started teaching myself Chinese, and I stayed up till 4 a.m. every night trying to cram as many Chinese words into my brain so I could chat with my fans on the live stream and learn more about their culture. My first time singing in Chinese was actually a week after I learned how to say ni hao. And I didn't go starting with an easy Chinese song. I jumped right in to learning Hou Lai, really beautiful Chinese song. And just to see how excited that the Chinese people in China were that I was singing their language, that moment really impacted me. And I felt a great need to go to China after that and even meet fans and just see everybody and see the world. It was a huge moment.
大家好，我是 Beth， 我的中文名字是王玉楠。
Just because my fans are in a different culture and location, it has motivated me to learn more about their culture and their lifestyle, the language, what kind of food they eat, all of that kind of stuff, and the music most importantly, because I love music. I'm really excited to have my new album coming out in maybe a few months. There's a lot of new Chinese words I'm memorizing, so I'm taking my time to make it really good.
你好，我是 Kylie.
I would like to thank my mom, who has supported me through the whole journey and has even started learning Chinese with me.
我会说一点中文。
真的吗？
And I'm just really excited to share new music with you guys.
I'm so inspired by these first stories. As you can see, our honorees this year have remarkable talents, and we are especially excited to have our very own international superstar. Carly Beth's engagement in Chinese language and culture truly highlights the exciting opportunities that arise when we open ourselves up to new experiences and opportunities. We are excited to have Carly Beth sharing a special performance of Beiying, performed by Carly Beth and written by Ray Xing Wang. If you love the song, as we know you will, be sure to check out Carly Beth on Spotify, Instagram, and on YouTube as Carly Beth. Enjoy.
又到了一年秋深的时候，空气里飘散凋零的忧愁，我一如既往等待，还是释怀。如此反复的时光有多久？思念还缠绕着我不放手。我以为我已释怀，可还是想你。所以你转身离开时候，我还期待着你一定会回首。所以我没挽留，紧紧拉住你双手，才知道失去不如占有。你的背影模糊消失在人流，此刻恍然的我怎么说没有？脑海中重复着，想着念着我们的相逢，所有回忆涌上心头。时光有多久？思念还缠绕着我不放手。我以为我已释怀，可还是想你。所以你转身离开时候，我还期待着你一定会回首。所以我没挽留，紧紧拉住你双手，才知道失去不如占有。你的背影模糊消失在人流，此刻恍然的我怎么说没有？脑海中重复着，想着念着我们的相逢，所有回忆涌上心头。有人说不属于的终究都是失去的，所有的道理谁都懂，但是爱到深刻，深刻到失去自我，很难想象时间如何让人愈合。转身离开时候，我还期待着你一定会回首。所以我没挽留，紧紧拉住你双手，才知道失去不如占有。你的背影模糊消失在人流，此刻恍然的我怎么说没有？脑海中重复着，想着念着我们的相逢，所有回忆涌上心头。又到了一年秋深的时候。
Amazing. I think we're all blown away by these beautiful performances. Now, as we continue to meet tonight's honorees, we know that global education opportunities not only provide skills, such as a language development and cultural competency, but they also help students better understand their identities and how their history, experiences, and location influence their understanding of the world around them. These next honoree stories highlight the impact that exploring Chinese language and culture has had on shaping their understanding of their personal identity. It is so important to facilitate those transformations and experiences, and we are excited to be able to share these powerful stories. Meet Ellen Saksena, Grace Wangko, and Shadeja DiazBaz.
Hi, I'm Ellen, and I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm associated with the University of Lincoln, Nebraska, and I'm interested in studying environmental science. Well, this is kind of a funny story. I actually started Chinese language and culture because my best friend was learning Chinese and I wanted to learn Chinese with her. So that's how I got started. But after a few years of learning Chinese language, then I started just doing it for myself and really just enjoyed the process of learning the language and getting to know other people's cultures. One of the most memorable experiences studying Chinese was when there were a bunch of Chinese students that came over from China and just to say hi to my Chinese class, and I think that was pretty memorable and that it was really fun because they taught me different kind of slang terms and really showed me the fun side of Chinese rather than just memorizing a ton of terms. Chinese language and culture has really shaped my identity. I have two different perspectives on, one is the American perspective and one is the Chinese culture perspective. And I think that having both of those insights and having both of those pieces of knowledge in my mind helps me form my own identity in myself. I think that overall with the experiences that I've gained from learning Chinese and the different cultures that I've also experienced, I just want to use that to further help bridge people together. In my career, for example, I want to work on environmental policy, something that the U.S. and China have kind of been inching towards. And I think it's really important, especially to have that cultural connection so we can understand what each of the values that each of the countries have, so then we can work together to work for a common cause. I'd like to thank my Chinese teacher, Miss Shui. She's at Lincoln East High School in Nebraska here. And I'd like to thank her for opening up the opportunities and really showing me what Nebraska does have to offer for Chinese. So thank you, Ms. Shui, for really helping me find my place here in Nebraska and to really keep experiencing Chinese culture and to increase my knowledge and understanding even further. So thanks.
My name is Grace Wonko, and I am a senior at Lundblom Math and Science Academy in Chicago, Illinois. To begin with, honestly, I only took Chinese because it was one of the two languages at my school. They only had Arabic and Chinese, and I wasn't really feeling Arabic. I was like, I don't want to take Arabic, let's go with Chinese. I was really scared though. I knew that Chinese had no length, no alphabet. It really didn't have any, it wasn't similar to English, so I was very scared going to the thing. But I did continue with Chinese 2 after Chinese 1 because honestly, I think that just the differences captivated me and kept me going to taking Chinese. One of the most memorable experiences for me, I think, was becoming a teacher's assistant for Chinese 1. It was my first year being a teacher's assistant. It was really memorable because I got to share my love for Chinese with other people. During our Chinese Cultural Day, I choreographed a dance for 5 of my students, and just the work that I put into it and teaching them the lyrics, teaching them the pinyin, teaching them the songs, it really meant a lot once they went on that stage and did it, and the reaction after that. I think I cried because it was just so memorable to me that I got to do this. It's good seeing the fruit of your hard work. During my service at the Chinese American Service League in Chicago's Chinatown, we talked to a lot of elderly people. I got to connect with native speakers and share my experiences, but also get to hear theirs. Before I studied Chinese, I was very close-minded, very self-centered. I only knew 2 cultures, Nigerian culture from my parents, and then I only knew about Chicagoan culture. And Chicago is very segregated, as a whole. Blacks live on one side of the city, white people and other races live very separately. So I really wasn't getting a cultural sense as I was growing up. And when I studied Chinese, I really knew that, oh crap, I actually like learning languages. I actually like seeing a new side of the world that I couldn't see during a child here. It just awakened the interest that I had in other world cultures and languages. And without Chinese, I would have never ever found that out with myself. It unlocked something in me that made me realize that I actually really enjoy this.
My name is Shadeja DiazBaz. I am studying International Business and Asian Studies. I go to Medgar College in Brooklyn, that's where I live, and I'm doing my dual major through CUNY BA. My study abroad experience, I went to Shanghai, China. I studied on campus, so I went on campus to a university, and I went to study international business and law, intercultural communication, and marketing and management in China. The experience was very great. The teaching experience was amazing. We had to learn about, marketing and seeing how business was done in China, and also business management and how different it is from the U.S. to China. When I came back from Shanghai, and because studying abroad, especially going to Medgar, which is a predominantly Black institute, where there's predominantly Black students and brown students and Latin students go there, I just had to come back with the target to bring information and bring the importance of going to different places that you have never been before. So I became the president of the Study Abroad Club in my school to bring more awareness. My main target was to get minorities like Black and brown people and Latin people to start, gaining confidence and going abroad, especially to China, something that they would never think of going to, and learning about the language as well. Because that's one thing that really made me want to continue or pursue my education language, to learn how to communicate with people and not just have, one language, and to be bilingual and the opportunities that come with that. One of the misconceptions that I had about China before going was when I did apply to go there and I got accepted, I was having second thoughts because there were people around me that were saying, Chinese people are racist to Black people, how are you going to survive with that? And all these negative things. So I'm just I actually don't want to experience that, and I just, I got accepted, and so I was kind of scared. Coming back, I look back at it, and it wasn't really like that at all. It was so nice, and they were very nice people, and they brought me places that I've never been before. The locals actually took me out to see gardens and all those parks and stuff, and we went to the financial district, and it was just so weird to have that initial thought about it going there, and then actually experience that it wasn't that bad at all. It was actually great. It was actually a great experience.
Wow, what a night. As you heard from Shadeja's story, we all know the power that travel and immersion experiences can have in developing our Chinese language and cultural understanding. Our final group of honorees highlight the power of travel in providing new opportunities, skills, and understanding of oneself in the world. Enjoy their stories, knowing that once the pandemic is over, these travel experiences can once again continue, and that immersive education experiences are possible anywhere. Meet Elena Berry, Ryan Hale, Lorna Berger, and Juliet Petras.
My name is Alana Berry. I am from Washington, D.C. I am currently a junior at Johns Hopkins University studying international studies and East Asian studies. When I was in 7th grade, we were allowed to pick between 4 different languages. I believe it was Latin, French, Spanish, and Chinese. And so I decided to pick Chinese, and I just kind of fell in love with it as soon as I started to study it. And it just kind of went from there. I just, kept studying all the way through middle school, all the way through high school, had some great opportunities to go abroad. But it was really that one choice that I made, when I was 12 years old that kind of set it all in motion. When I was in high school, I actually got the opportunity to participate in this Chinese language competition called Chinese Bridge that was sponsored by the Chinese government. I was able to actually go to the international competition that was held in China. I met some amazing people. I definitely got to practice my Chinese in a big way, and that was, quite an incredible, one-of-a-kind experience. When I was at Chinese Bridge, the program basically had students from a local university, Yunnan Normal University, pair up with each team to kind of help them through the process and help them prepare for the competition, and just, kind of there to practice Chinese and meet new people. So T was our volunteer that was assigned to our team, and that's where I met her. And I think she just made the experience so much more fun and so much more wonderful than it would have been otherwise. When I was competing in the Chinese Bridge competition, the international one in China, my teammate and I had the opportunity to be in the top 5, and so we got to actually be on television. And it was my first time ever being on television, and maybe even my last time ever being on television, but it was pretty remarkable.
This is a postcard that my friend Tingyu gave to me after we met in 2015 at the Chinese Bridge competition. She gave this to me right before I left, right before I got on the plane to go back to the United States. And then on the back, here's a little message that she wrote me. Then here at the bottom, there's a proverb that I particularly like. It's 海内存知己，天涯若比邻, which in Chinese means basically that as long as you have a friend in the world, the ends of the earth seem like next doors. So it's a really important memento of mine, and every time I look at it, I always think about the times that we shared together and the memories we made.
Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Hale. I'm from Albany, New York. I've lived here my entire life. I study with the University at Albany Confucius Institute program, and they've been excellent throughout all my years of studying there. And my current major in college is business administration with a focus in finance and business analytics, and my minor is Chinese. So the reason I originally became interested in Chinese culture and education was actually due to playing a video game online with Chinese people. So a few years ago, I started playing a very popular battle royale game in which there would be a lot of Chinese teammates that you would have often. The game was also very popular in China. And of course, there was a language barrier. I wasn't sure what they were saying at the time, and it was hard to communicate with them. And so naturally, I decided to look up a few phrases online to try and smooth things out a little bit, maybe get a little bit of communication as a team.
还一个，
这个是这个。
加油加
油！
我肯定的。
干嘛？
为了我美国的朋友。
And from that point, I then decided, this is a very interesting language. I of course love learning languages, so I decided to take Chinese 101 at my university, which is University of Albany, and that's where it really all started. So originally, how I found out about the opportunity to go to Chengdu was my professor mentioned it to me. I was actually taking a Chinese course at that time, and she said, "Oh, Ryan, I think this would be, an amazing opportunity. I think you would love this." So I decided to apply for the U Albany Confucius Institute Chengdu trip. The experience to me was an incredible one that I'll never forget. The only way I can really describe it was from the moment I stepped foot on the plane, I felt like a little kid again. Everything was so new to me, and I was experiencing all these things for the first time. I was just simply awestruck with anything that happened. In addition to that, the experience really couldn't have gone any better. The students, all the faculty at the university were so receptive, and they really made me more comfortable despite the fact that I was traveling, halfway across the world and experiencing a whole new culture. And I think that definitely put me at ease and allowed me to be more explorative.
当我开始学习中文，这个语言很难，汉字语法和说话都是一张白纸。当我开始想要退去，我常问了的希望，一个朋友帮我提高，中文开始变得有趣。
I became very good at quote-unquote rolling with it when I was in China due to all the new things I was doing. I'd never taken a plane before. I'd never gotten directions to go to the hotel before by myself. I basically had to figure everything out on the fly, and I think that allowed me to improve myself in that aspect, in the aspect of self-reliance, in the aspect of being sure of what I'm doing, navigating the world, and I suppose having confidence in that sense.
My name is Lorna Bergner. The institution that I'm currently associated with taking Chinese classes is UB, University at Buffalo. It was actually the last thing I ever thought that I would do in my life, but I had a friend who had been living in China for many years, and she invited me to come and visit her in Guangzhou. So it just happened that I was going to attend a conference in Macau, which is right across the bridge from Guangzhou. So I combined that and took a couple of weeks to visit my friend in Guangzhou. During that short visit, I managed to travel around to many cities like Beijing, Chengdu, Kunming. When I went home from that visit, I had already decided that I would go back to stay as long as I could. I had no plan how long I was going to be in China. I just knew that I wanted to be there as long as possible and immerse myself in the culture. And 6 months turned into 11 and a half years. As I was meeting friends, in fact, this one family right away adopted me. And through them, they introduced me to someone who was associated with one of the private English language schools in Chongqing. And I was offered a part-time job as an English teacher. I really didn't think I would need to learn Chinese, but the longer I stayed, the more I realized that if I want to get to know these people and understand them and learn more about their culture and what they think and what they feel, I need to learn their language. I think for anybody of any age, it's always good to learn firsthand about people who are different from us. So much of the misunderstandings in the world are caused by the fact that we just don't have the information that we need to understand the other person's point of view. So this is one of my recommendations for anybody, is to go abroad, meet people, get to know them on an individual basis, not just as a tourist, although that's one way to do it. But if you can get your feet on the ground and walk through the streets and be lost and have to ask for directions and can you please help me? China is one of the best places to do that because the people want to help you.
Hi, my name is Juliette Petras. I'm originally from Farmington, Michigan, and I currently reside in London, England. I am an opera singer, and I specialize in Chinese contemporary vocal music. I had always had an interest in Chinese culture and language when I was younger, but I grew up in the Midwest and there really wasn't a way to access that information. So my first real kind of in-person experience was in 2011. I was invited to join a program at the time called I Sing Beijing, which was a young artist program that invited young opera singers to come to China and have an introduction to Chinese music and language and culture. I can honestly say that it just completely took my career in a completely different direction I couldn't have anticipated. I so fell in love with Chinese language and culture, the people, the music. I felt such a strong connection to China during that time that I had kind of decided in my mind that this was what I wanted to do. Being a musician, being a classical musician in particular, and learning a foreign language, I think that skill set from being a classical musician immediately finds its way into learning a language. There's a lot of memorization. There's a lot of time by yourself just simply studying. That as a classical musician, I lock myself in a studio for hours at a time. I think being a singer in particular has huge benefit to me because it's allowed me to really hear and take in and be able to repeat the sounds that, you know, make the difference, the tones that make the difference in between being understood and not being understood in Mandarin. One of my mentors from ISing, Catherine Chu, who after the very first summer I was there, I went to her and I said, Catherine, you know, everybody needs to know about Chinese diction. And I said, I want to write a Chinese diction book. And she was like, that's nice. And because at that point I only spoke like 5 weeks of Mandarin. And she said, why don't you spend some more time in the country? Why don't you learn to speak the language? Why don't you sing more music? Why don't you learn the culture? And then we can think about it. And that took me the next 8 years to, and singing and going back and forth, spending half of my year in China studying Mandarin, so much so that last year I asked her the same question again and she was like, okay. So that's how our Chinese diction book came to be, which is going to be the first book of its kind to be able to teach Westerners how to sing in Mandarin.
Incredible. It is also amazing to see how so many of our honorees have started with a small interest and an opportunity that has eventually grown into entire careers. As our first honoree currently living outside of the United States, we were especially excited to learn about Juliet's journey to become a true bridge between cultures. Next, I am excited to introduce a special performance from Juliet, accompanied by Lydia Chu. Juliet will be performing 我爱你中国, I Love You China, and she will share why the song is in particular is significant to her. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Juliet Petras, and I'm honored to be one of this year's honorees. The piece I'd like to perform for you this evening is 我爱你中国, I Love You China, which is the very first song that I ever sang in China back in 2011. I'm going to ask my frequent collaborator and dear friend Lydia Cho on piano to join me.
That was magnificent. This has truly been an inspiring and exciting evening, and I'm so happy to have been a part of sharing each of this year's honorees' amazing stories. Now in its 5th year, the People-to-People Award program is growing and will continue to highlight the inspiring stories of our Chinese language and culture community for years to come. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for. We are excited to officially welcome this year's honorees into the community. Gao Qing, the Confucius Institute U.S. Center's Executive Director, will join us for our presentation of awards, and it has been an honor to serve as your MC for the evening. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening and stay healthy. 谢谢.
Thank you, Love. You did an awesome job of hosting this event. I hope to see you in Texas in person very soon. All of those stories and performance, wow, it really touched my heart and I was literally teared up. Our 10 honorees were selected from across the country by our reading committee. This is the 5th year of the People-to-People Award program. We will continue to develop the honoree community, and we will continue to highlight those impressive and encouraging stories of American students who are learning Chinese language. And to our honorees, now it is a time to officially acknowledge you with the words and individually welcome each and every one of you to our honoree community. First, Shadeja DiazBaz from Medgar College, New York City. You have been exploring international education and expanding global visions through study abroad program in China. I hope you can continue to inspire more students, particularly from the underrepresented population, to try study abroad opportunities, which can be a life-transforming experience. Shadeja, congratulations and keep on the great work.
Thank you so much for this award. Thank you for letting me to have the opportunity to share my story for the world. I just want to thank Medgar College and the staff and directors and professors that helped me push me to the point to become successful at wanting to go abroad. I want to thank Ms. Lisa Evelyn from the Women's Development Center, thank Dr. Kemi Liu, my Mandarin professor, and the one that nominated me for the People-to-People Award. I want to thank my colleague Kyle for helping me put together videos and pictures for this event. And I also just want to thank Augustine Algarecki, my provost from Medgar College, and just to thank everyone that helped me fund money to go abroad to Shanghai. Thank you so much.
Lorna Bergner from Confucius Institute at the University of Buffalo. It is so great to have you in our community as you have demonstrated the importance of lifelong learning. We only live once, so why not try new things and challenge ourselves to keep learning, to keep expanding our knowledge, and yes, put food on the ground. You know what, Lorna? We all learn a great deal from you.
Thank you, Gao Qing. Hello, everyone, family and friends. I'm so grateful today for 3 very important reasons. First, I'm grateful for having lived in China for over 11 wonderful years from 2008 to 2019. I believe that every preconceived idea I ever had about everything was challenged as I immersed myself in the Chinese language and culture, and this was good. I basked in the warmth and kindness of every new friend. So many Chinese people of all ages welcomed me into their family circles. Second, I'm grateful that I found the Confucius Institute at the University of Buffalo soon after I came back from China last year. In particular, I appreciate that CIUB Director Jichang Yu and Associate Directors Ruyao Wang and Bruce Acker have made me feel very welcome as a student still struggling to learn the Chinese language. Special thanks go to Guo Laoxia, my Chinese teacher. Third, I'm grateful to the People-to-People program of CIUS Center for honoring me with this award and for the opportunity to join the alumni community. This, I feel, opens new doors for me to continue my lifelong passion to promote unity and harmony among all the peoples of the world. Thank you so much.
That's beautiful. Alana Burry from Johns Hopkins University in Maryland. Your story is a great example that learning a new language opens a door. It brings new communication skills, new perspectives, and new friendship, and of course, get on television. That's exactly what this People-to-People Award is truly about. Alana, I hope you can get on television again so that more people will know your story.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited and honored to be part of this celebration tonight. First, I'd like to thank the Confucius Institute U.S. Center for giving me this unique opportunity, as well as congratulate all the other inspiring honorees who are also receiving their awards tonight. I also want to take a moment to recognize that so much of what I've experienced and achieved thus far is thanks to the amazing support systems I've had throughout the years. At Sidwell Friends, where I spent elementary, middle, and high school, I was presented with the unique opportunity to learn Chinese, which is where my journey began. I'd like to thank my Sidwell teachers, Zhang Laoshi, Wang Laoshi, Tang Laoshi, Dr. Flower, and Dr. Leonard for their guidance and encouragement. I wouldn't be on the path I am now without you. And from my community at Johns Hopkins, I want to thank Professor Meyer-Fang and Zhao Laoshi for mentoring me as I continue to deepen and broaden my study of China. I also want to thank my parents for their unconditional love and support. I'm looking forward to applying everything you've taught me to future endeavors, and I hope I'm able to make you proud. Last but not least, sending love to all my family and friends watching tonight, as well as all the friends I've made during my time in China. Your support means the world to me. Thank you.
Then Debbie Fuller from Confucius Institute at Alfred University in New York State. I had the opportunity to enjoy your wonderful Guzheng performance last year. I'm glad you will continue to pursue your journey in China. I hope you will carry your passion of Chinese culture and keep practicing. David, I look forward to your new stories in China.
Hello, and thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity. And I'd like to give a big thanks to my Chinese instructor, or not my Chinese instructor, but my Guzheng instructor, Daisy Wu, as well as my friend from China, Shen Ling. And I really hope to get many more of these wonderful experiences when I'm over in China. I would also like to thank my coordinator, Harry Cheng's, as well as all of the people in my life who have supported me in the idea that being a teacher at just over 21 years old is not a horrible idea and that I will actually be able to teach. So thank you so much, and I hope everyone has a great night.
Ryan Hale from the Confucius Institute at the University of Albany State University of New York. Interest is the best teacher. Your story of learning Chinese from gaming will surely inspire a lot of young folks. It makes me feel a little bad about myself, as I used to be a big gamer before. And if I heard your story back then, I can probably speak very good Japanese by now. Ryan, welcome to join our community.
Thank you so much, Gao, and congratulations to all the other honorees tonight. So I would first like to begin by thanking the Confucius Institute and everyone at the Confucius Institute for all of their hard work in not only putting together this incredible presentation and ceremony, but also for all the events that you do all across the country and even across the world. I can definitely say that without the Confucius Institute, I would have never achieved the level of Chinese cultural understanding and language understanding that I have to this day. And I have to say, whether it was my trip to Chengdu or the various events that you put on, those are examples right there of those incredible memories that I've been able to experience through the Confucius Institute. I would also like to thank my professors at the University of Albany that I've had over the years, as they have been incredibly influential on me, and they've given me the drive and the determination to continue learning, and they've really piqued my interest in the language. And finally, I would like to thank my family and friends for being so supportive of me. And I would like to just leave with one last Chinese idiom that everyone can take home this evening, and that's 三人行，必有我师. And what this essentially means is, this is a Confucius quote, and it means there are three people walking, one of them must be my teacher. Now that's the direct translation, but in reality, what it translates to is you can learn something from everyone. And personally, I take this as, you know, don't be afraid to try new things. Always try to experience new cultures and never be afraid to take that next step in learning something new. Thank you, everyone.
That's great. Carly Beth Hand from the Confucius Institute at University at Buffalo. You have been building a bridge by your amazing voice on social media platform between people from the US and China. We will definitely need your advice of how we can better utilize the social media for Chinese language learning and cultural exchanges. Carly Beth, I look forward to your new achievements in both language learning and music performances.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for this award and congratulations to everybody. I never expected that one rainy night in the London practice room would bring me here. And I'm so incredibly grateful for my crazy live streaming experience, which allowed me to connect with so many people across the globe. I'd like to thank my teachers, Guo Laoshi and Yin Laoshi, for introducing me to this incredible community and for supporting me. Secondly, I'd like to thank the composer I'm working with, Richard Wong, for his incredible talent and also his support for my music career. And I would like to give my incredible thanks to my mom, who has supported me so much. She's also learning Chinese as well. And she has videoed me countless hours, and she supports me on not only my Chinese journey, but my music journey as well. And my favorite thing about being in this community, I'm so honored because we get to connect with people. And Juliet and I actually have just made a little collaboration, a short video that will show you at the end of the ceremony. So I'm really excited for you guys to see that. I'm not only grateful to be in this community, but I'm also so excited to share my music and Chinese culture across the globe. And I really hope to positively inspire people. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Grace Wonko from Lindblom Math and Science Academy in Chicago, Illinois. You have been developing the effective way to overcome the challenges and successfully bring the community together. That's not easy. We're impressed by your resilience. Congratulations, Grace. Please let us know how we can assist you to further your language learning.
First of all, I want to congratulate all the other honorees. You guys are so talented and amazing, and your stories are all unique. So congratulations to you guys. I'm really excited to work with you guys in the future. As first, I want to thank my friends Zora and Fatima for being here. You guys are my best friends, and I honestly could not have been here without you guys. So thank you guys so much. I love you. And a special thank you to my teachers. Two of them are here, Wang Laoshi and Lai Laoshi. And I want to thank you guys so much because honestly, my love for Chinese and like what I've been doing in Chinese wouldn't have been like a thing if you guys did not foster it. So I want to thank you guys so much for everything. And I knew, man, and thank you so much for all the opportunities.
Thank you. Julia Petras from Tongji University. As a professional opera singer, you are not only wonderful in singing, but also speak the best Chinese among all opera singers from the US. Having performed in the highest stage in China and integrating Chinese language skills into the professional artistic career is so amazing. Julia, I'm sure your brilliance will inspire many who are interested in arts and culture to follow your path and bridge the cultures.
Thank you, Gao. And thank you so much for having me. Confucius Institute of the United States, I'm just so honored for this nomination and the honor this year. Being honored for something that you already love to do is just sort of the cherry on top of everything. I want to first thank the I Sing program, Tian Hazhang, Martha Liao, Wei Fugen, and Catherine Chu for bringing me to China and introducing me to Chinese music, language, and culture. And to Hanban and Tongji University in Shanghai to give me wonderful opportunities to further my language skills. I'd like to thank my frequent collaborator and friend, Lydia Cho, with whom I have had amazing musical adventures all over China. I'd like to say a very big thanks to my parents, my family, my friends who have been so supportive and giving of their time over the years as I've traveled back and forth. And especially to my husband, Adolfo, and my son, Amedeo, who have been so understanding as we endure time apart. Chinese music and language has taken me all over the world, and music is so important, especially right now. and we can't forget its power to bring people together. This music has captured my heart, and I hope that I can continue reaching out across borders for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Alan Saksena from the Confucius Institute at University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Studying a new language and culture can bring people together, learn from each other, respect each other, and share insights with each other, and also help find your own identity. Alan, your impressive story is definitely one of the best testimony of the value of Confucius Institute and Chinese language learning and education.
Thank you, Gaoxing. I'm honored to receive this award. First, I'd like to thank my Chinese teachers who propelled my love for Chinese. Ms. So, thank you for opening the door for me to explore my identity and for equipping me with the language skills that I need to communicate with native Chinese people. Ms. Shui, thank you for supporting me when I moved to Lincoln, Nebraska. You showed me how many opportunities there are in Lincoln, contrary to my first belief when I first found myself in Nebraska. You connected me to the local Chinese community and a community of other passionate Chinese language and cultural learners from all over the United States. Thank you for nominating me for the People-to-People Award and for opening up so many doors for me in my journey. I hope to carry my Chinese language and cultural understanding with me in my prospective career in environmental science and policy. Chinese cultural language and understanding has helped me develop a strong connection to others and has allowed me to bring people together. Thank you to all the people who have made this possible.
Thank you. Last but not least, Raven Witherspoon from Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia. Practicing Chinese with Chinese peers is not only useful for improving the language proficiency, but also for exchanging worldviews and perspectives. That's why your pen pal program at Northern Virginia Community College is very cool. By your own words, the only way to address global issues is to build long-lasting interpersonal relations. Raven, you put it beautifully, and that's exactly the fundamental purpose of our work.
Hello, everyone. First, I want to thank the Confucius Institute and my honoree community. Thank you all for inviting me into your community and into your lives. I'd also like to thank my loved ones, my parents, my extended family, my boyfriend Steven, and my friend Maria for always supporting me in my Chinese language learning and listening to maybe a little more Chinese music than they would like to. I want to thank all of my professors, Chang Lao Shi, Dai Lo Lao Shi, Gao Lao Shi, and Gang Lao Shi at the UVA Summer Language Institute for giving me an incredible summer experience and a lot of joy throughout the pandemic. I'd also like to thank Tan Lao Shi at Nova Community College for supporting me in everything I've done in Chinese language learning this year, and for really opening the door for me to continue that by introducing me to the Confucius Institute and the Asia Society, and supporting me in my work with the China America Student Conference. I'd also like to thank Wei Lao Shi at Qingtai Polytechnic College for the language exchange program that introduced me to my pen pal. Finally, I'd like to thank my pen pal. I'm so grateful for our conversations and for the way you've let me into your world. Thank you for letting me glimpse the other side of the world through your eyes, and thank you for being my friend. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations to all honorees once again. Thank you all for your commitment and dedication to the people-to-people exchanges. I'd also like to thank all the audience tonight. I understand you are committed to support of Chinese language education in the United States. Your participation in this special virtual celebration during this unprecedented time means a lot to us. Your support is invaluable. I hope we can continue to learn from your advice about this event and about how we can improve our future work. So please fill out the feedback form with the link sent in the chat box. At these difficult times, as an organization dedicated to people-to-people exchanges, we understand that being able to speak each other's language and understand each other's culture is more important than ever before. We will stick to our educational mission, continue to support, promote, and advocate Chinese language education and cross-cultural communication. We hope you will join us to make this learning community bigger and better, to work with us so that we will shine a light to overcome this darkness, to remain resilient, and to move forward together. We have heard several delightful musical performances tonight. In the very end, as Carly Beth already said, we will close out our program with a very sweet duet from Juliet and Carly Beth. The name of the song is Jiangchen Luren, which means River City Traveler. This original song from Carly was in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, shedding light on the great city of Wuhan, which has famous cherry blossom in China, just like the cherry blossom here in Washington, D.C. This song also highlights the hope of overcoming the darkness and embracing the bright future. As the lyric says, the spring will come. I would like to find you and see the cherry blossom together. Now, please enjoy these beautiful voices from Carly Beth and Julia, and you have a fantastic evening.
春天就要来了，我想去找你看樱花，在黄河楼上牵着你手看夕阳美如画，答应